they give to racers across this planet. Father, I thank you for Bristol Dragway and the amazing team that they have here. And Father, I thank you for mountains and drag cars. Now, Father, I thank you for every team represented here, every business, every household, Father. And Father, I thank you for our safety team, Father. One more thing, Father, I'm very thankful for the freedom that you give us to race. That freedom is not free, a price is required. I thank you for our military. Now, Father, I ask you to bless the track and the weather, Father, with good conditions. Father, keep us safe, keep us straight, Father, keep us engaged. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We fire off to 959 cubic inch engines as Brian Schrader and Tim Papp will fire off with round number 1 here in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous as we go drag racing here in Thunder Valley.
Woo, Tyler. That one gave me cold chills, buddy. Old Alaska knocking it out of the park, but man, let's go do some drag racing right now. Big cubic inches and only 6 kits.
That's right, just a little bit. So Brian Schrader, left-hand side, comes in your number 6 qualifier and has lane choice. The Dorado, Puerto Rico-based driver on the left-hand side of the racetrack, the Pandemonium Chevrolet Corvette, sits beside the man that has got to have a good weekend if he wants that world championship, Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. Pap's had moments of brilliance this season. At our opening event, he came out, was number 1 qualifier and ran the table. Took home the 660 man, came back out again at their last stop on tour, the Northern Nationals, another number 1 qualifier, but unfortunately went red in the semifinals and ended his day.
You know, you think about it right now. First pair down the racetrack after a lengthy rain delay. Fresh racetrack out there from the team that puts it all together. And all you got to think right now is we saw the Pap crew make a weight change underneath this tunnel. Did they go the right direction? Should they have left it alone? Should they have gone the other direction? You never know until they drop the hammer.
They have one of the best in the business tuning on that machine in KTR. Stevie Jackson, you can see him right there on the flow screen. He's going to pull Tim Pap's little red Corvette up towards the starting line. The Robert Hayes prepared Corvette over in the opposite lane. You'll see that machine start to head towards the top bulb.
This is the most watched pair of the weekend. As everybody in the staging lanes, everybody in the pits, everybody that's coming up next in a category wants to see what do these two have for us. Brian Schrader, Tim Papp. Both of them struggled in the 2 sessions of the qualifying we got yesterday, but that's all out the window. It's race day. There's one win light. Papp turns it red. Brian Schrader will go down the racetrack and go 396 at 194 miles per hour. Had to drive it through tire shake or pedal, one of the two. But Tim Papp, 0.003 of a second too soon as Tim Papp will go down to a red light here in round number 1.
Extreme Pro Stock, we need you. AED Performance, Extreme Pro Stock, presented by Allen Competition Engines. We need you. For your opening round of eliminations, please. Pro Stock, we need you. 3,000 red for Papp. That one's going to sting. Teammates. Side by side here in the opening round, Tim Molnar and Billy Albert. Albert on the right-hand side out of Wytheville, Virginia. The stand dance on 2020 Camaro for structural mechanical. Comes in as your number 8 qualifier. Tim Molnar, left-hand side out of Seville, Ohio. His rookie season here in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous for Albert Race Engines, ARC Gas, Gym Attachments, and crew chief is Ricky Smith on both of these machines. Molnar, the lower qualified machine, he comes in number 5. He did go at 385.8 and has looked good, but right now, looks like he's sitting out in the middle of the racetrack. Could be some drama here in the opening round as Molnar is feverishly trying to get that car in reverse.
Is a high moment right now. Tim Molnar not able to get it in reverse. It looks like he is trying desperately to roll forward and get that thing in reverse, and it finally falls in there. Billy Albert, his teammate, will have a little bit of waiting to do, a little bit of gamesmanship. I'm sure they will hustle it up and try to get Molnar back underway and get him in the beams as quickly as possible so he gets that thing backed up to the starting line on the left-hand side of the racetrack here at Bristol Dragway, and he'll have to hustle it up because his teammate on the right-hand side has been waiting on him.
Yeah, what a tale of two tails, or whatever, tale of two tapes, I don't care. Molnar, frantic inside the cockpit of this Camaro here on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Billy Albert, calm, cool, and collected over on the right-hand side.
But also, that could come up to bite you. You're in the car.
Get relaxed.
You're in the car saying, hey, calm down, don't worry about it, stay in your zone. Well, you could get too relaxed, and Molnar's up on the wheel right now because everything's moving 100 miles per hour inside that race car. So Molnar, you always talk about how drivers have to throw it out the window. Hey, you got to block that out, and whenever you turn the pre-stage bulb on, it's game time from there on out. Anything else before or after doesn't matter, but you've got to take that kind of mindset right here if you're both drivers. But your number 5 and number 8 matchup, they both go to the top bulbs. This one could be big.
Yes,
Number three in the points, right-hand side. This one could be big.
And Billy Albert red lights his chances. Molnar, how about a 382.5, his quickest pass this weekend? 199 miles an hour, Tyler.
Billy Albert just tried to jump up on the wheel and looks like he just kind of let go on air. Big red light for Billy Albert. And Tim Molnar will take his Chevrolet Camaro down the left-hand side of the racetrack to a 382. It's his low so far for round number 1. Molnar, nice, clean, straight, and true lap. As now, your points leader rolls in on the Super Grip right-hand side of the racetrack as she's going to have to overcome some obstacles. She sits beside Cam Clark, who qualified number 4.
Amber Denton out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. The Red Line Oil, Franklin Electric, SmartCom Home Technologies. Hoosier Racing Tires, 69 Camaro, they call the OG Jungle Rat. And Cam Clark on the left-hand side out of Reidsville, North Carolina. His 69 Camaro for Cumberland Napa Clark's Automotive. Oddly enough, Clark, your lower qualified car. We haven't seen him much on tour this season. He's an engine builder by trade. Puts together a bunch of late model stock car motors, and they're very successful at it. So he's been right busy at the shop. But this is a dangerous matchup for your points leader.
Has not been down the racetrack once this weekend. Made 3 runs in testing, 2 runs in qualifying, and not one of them went to the finish line under power. But if all else fails, you throw everything you got at it in round 1, and you hope for the best. Because right now, she is chasing a world championship. She's got Jeff Pierce on the headset, and that has to give you a little bit of confidence, knowing that Jeff is one of the best in the business. But right now, she's got to put all that behind her. Cam Clark made 1 out of 2 runs down the racetrack yesterday to put himself the number 4 qualified spot. You got to think he's thinking, go repeat that 384 that put me in that spot. And if Amber can get down and get past and around him, at that point, you kind of just got to be okay. But right now, the key to anything is going to the finish line under power. If you do that, you got yourself in the ball game. You can't beat yourself in a situation like this.
Yeah, walking around in the pit area, talk to some of these drivers and crews, and that was the name of the game. Go A to B. They're not trying to knock the scoreboards down. They just want to make the trip, and that's where it all starts right here in the opening round.
First to stage, Cam Clark will turn on the stage bulb second. Amber leads the starting line first, but drives through some shake. cannot get it done. Cam Clark 382.6, and your points leader goes down in the opening round of eliminations. Amber had 4 numbers off the Christmas tree, tried to pedal it through tire shake, got back in it, and it still posted a 420, but it was not enough as Cam Clark made it A to B right down the left-hand side just like he did yesterday, and Cam will turn it on and go to round number 2.
Another one of our marquee matchups pulling through the water box. Freddie Scriba and Marcus Butner. Freddie Scriba, left side of the racetrack, your defending world champion in the category. Out of Millersville, Maryland, the source for a 1969 Camaro. Pat Musey horsepower underneath the hood scoop for his machine. He comes in your number 3 qualifier to 382.3. Marcus Butner on the right-hand side. As Tyler likes to say, a different story. He has not been down the racetrack, has struggled, but he has one of the best tuning on that Redline Oil PST Musey-powered Camaros.
Yeah, this is a dangerous matchup, I feel like, for Freddie Scriba. I don't know why, but I have that feeling that Jay Cox is just going to roll up here and just go, hey, boys.
We've seen it before.
Don't count me out yet.
You know, anytime we ever doubt Jay Cox, he likes to throw it in our face.
I think that's what he enjoys the most about this sport, making people think he's down and out, and then all of a sudden he just rolls one down the racetrack. Freddie Scriba comes in your number 3 qualifier on the left-hand side of the racetrack. He put himself back in championship contention with a win at Budds Creek, Maryland. Had a good showing at the Northern Nationals. He comes in number 5. If he wins this round with the qualifying points that he accrued over Marcus Butner, he will be 1 point ahead if he wins this round than Marcus. So you're number 4 and number 5 in the championship point standings, and they're about to show down right now. And what did I tell you? You got to look at Marcus Butner and Jay Cox. By 0.003 of a second, Marcus Butner down the right-hand side of the racetrack gets it done as a driver on the hole shot. Takes down Freddie Scriba, and Marcus Butner, your number 4 man in the championship standings, turns on a win light, and it was a big one here in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yep.
That 77 out of Scriba was the best run of the weekend out of any Pro Nitrous car to go to the racetrack. And it goes down. Marcus Butner with a big round win right here in round number 1. And John Vergatz and Dane Wood, your next pair, but your last pair, because your final car is a single.
And I'll tell you what, Tyler, these are also 2 machines that go A to B a lot of the time, and it's won them many rounds in this category. Vergatz on the left side. Out of Erie, Pennsylvania, the Dark Knight 69 Camaro for A1 Auto. He was your number 2 qualifier here at Thunder Valley. 378.9 in qualifying earned him that. Dane Wood on the right-hand side. The original U.S. Mail 2012 Mustang for Brickhouse Brothers Racing, Affordable Trans, 3 Guns Customs, Purvis Ford, and 660 Race Car Technology. Has struggled, but another guy that we've seen struggle, and then hit the home run when it matters.
All day, we've talked about it ever since this round started. You really just have to have a short-term memory loss and forget what happened. You know, you learn from the mistakes. You learn from what you learned yesterday on your runs, but you've got to forget that it didn't go down the racetrack. You have to be confident as a driver that the changes that you made coming to the starting line will take this car down the racetrack. You know, I wonder, did Freddie Scriba be a little laid up right there? You know, Freddie's normally one of the best in the business to leave the starting line. He was 70 right there, and it cost him. John Vergatz can't do that same thing right here because he has to know that Dane Wood can get there. Dane can lay down a run, and this final pair in Pro Nitrous, because your singles coming up next, could be decided on the starting line. Dane Wood gets it done on a hole shot. Called it again, boys and girls. Dane Wood 376.1 takes down 376.0 from John Vergatz. Dane Wood 50 on the let go. Gets around John Vergatz's 71, and that's 2 drivers that were on the top side of the field that came in with a little bit of confidence that are going home after round 1.
Man, I tell you what, you can't write a script for this. And look at a little smoke there on the flow replay out of Dane Wood's machine. Hopefully it doesn't have to use the rental engine hoist. So Tommy Franklin was your number 1 qualifier here in Schweitzer Dynamics. Pro Nitrous will be on a single pass here in the opening round out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. For Redline Oil, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Hoosier Racing Tires, Mincer Motorsports, and Jeff Pierce Race Car Tuning. Looking ahead to our next round matchups, Tommy needs to go quicker than a 396.8 right here.
Will have a solo shot to round number 2. He needs to go quicker than 396.8 to have lane choice over Brian Schrader. Will be your top side of the ladder matchup. We go into round number 2. Tommy Franklin, the floor is yours. Franklin has to hang onto the wheel, has to lift early, and squeaks by to get lane choice. 390 at 162, holds off Brian Schrader's 396. So Tommy Franklin by 0.06 of a second will carry lane choice to round number 2. Tommy Franklin, Brian Schrader, Marcus Butner, and Cam Clark, with Butner receiving lane choice, and Dane Wood with a low elapsed time of the weekend, 376.1, will have lane choice over Tim Molnar. And that one's big, Scotty, because that's a twofer.
I'm not a twofer. You know that's my favorite. Showing the WS Construction Pro Boost ladder on FloRacing right now as they complete their burnouts out here on the racing surface. Ed Marks and Kurt Stedding going to lead the category off with, and this may be a very good matchup, Tyler. I feel like number 8 and 9, two very close on the qualifying sheet. I don't think they get much closer than that, right?
Not only that, but they're also parked together. WYO Motorsports teammates. You got Mark Savage, left-hand side of the racetrack, calling the shots on Ed Marks' car. And you got Todd Tutterow, along with Brad Schmidt and that team, calling the shots for the P2 Contracting boss man of Kurt Stedding. So this one
is a big one.
It's a big one, as you like to say sometimes. Kurt Stedding has got a couple of races left on the schedule to make it up to go get a world championship, but it has to start with a win light here in round number 1 at Bristol, Tennessee. He made it down the racetrack both times yesterday in both lanes. But I can tell you right now, Kurt knows that all of that's kind of out the door. You've got to go up here, do your job on the starting line, and you have to turn on a win light if you want that world championship at the end of the year.
3 fires in there off. Look at Ed Marks. 004 going by the Christmas tree, and he will turn it into a win light. Outruns Kurt Stedding wire to wire. 371.5 at 204 miles per hour, Tyler.
If you tell me right now in Bristol, Tennessee that you can come up here to the racetrack, go 004 on the starting line and 371 on the scoreboard, I'll take it any day of the week when you pull up for Pro Boost. If you can get around that, you can have it. Ed Marks makes a picture-perfect run down the Ballard Health left-hand side of the racetrack, and you cannot knock Kurt Stedding's run.
Oh, that's a hell of a run.
That was a great lap out of that team, but man, Ed Marks laid one down. Is now Frank Falter the 4th, making his Pro Boost Eliminations debut here in Bristol. Will show down against one of the best in the business, Steve King.
Yeah, Falter out of Pasadena, Maryland, behind the wheel, the 69 Camaro, the Candyman. He'll be on the left side of the racetrack. Steve King on the right-hand side for the Gene Pilot-owned Savage Corvette. Resolution Racing Services, G-Force Race Cars, Pilot Electric, all on board helping Steve King out on the right side. On paper, you would probably try to take the veteran in this matchup. Frank Falter doesn't have near the time behind the wheel of this Camaro left side than Steve King has behind the wheel of the Corvette, but as we've seen in the opening round here, anything can happen.
He doesn't, but I can tell you, you've seen Falter go down the racetrack numerous times through the weekend, and Steve King has not. But, like you said, you just never know.
You never know. 632, we need you. PDRA Pro 632, presented by PTC. We need you to the staging lanes for your opening round of eliminations, please. Well, Tyler, this has been a little wild so far, man. It's been a little exciting, I feel.
Tell you, at some point I knew the switch was going to flip. At some point, the best in the business teams in the country pulling the pits here at Bristol Dragway, I knew they were going to figure it out. Yesterday was a little bit hotter. Today, now you've had rain to cool the racetrack down. Now the sun's kind of out, but I knew they would figure it out. You just got to figure it out. But hey, here we go. Steve King gets it done down the right-hand side of the racetrack, 373.2, 202 miles per hour. He'll take down Frank Falter's 380. But that 80 kept King honest. He knew he had to be there. He knew he had to go down the racetrack. And that team, for Frank Falter and that team, they cannot hang their heads one bit, because if Steve King slipped just a little, it was over.
Fun fact, both of those cars just absolutely within a couple thousandths of a second duplicated their qualifying runs that they made. Big one right here, bud. Raymond Matos on the right-hand side out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, the 2020 Camaro. And your current points leader in the category, the Justin Smith-owned Quick Fuel 69 Camaro, driven by Ty Tutterow. Ty Drive, Redline Oil on board his hot rod. So Raymond Matos right side, Ty Tutterow left.
Matos with the Proline Brain Trust on that car on the right-hand side of the racetrack, and I can guarantee you just about everybody in the Brain Trust looked at that one just here before round one, because they know how big this matchup is. Ty Tutterow comes in as your points leader. If you can get the points leader out of the way early, it opens the door for everybody. We just saw it in Pro Nitrous. Amber Denton's out of the way. Now, everybody else that's behind her is going after the number one spot. Can the same thing happen here in Pro Boost, or can Ty Tutterow continue his streak over the last couple of races with that Quick Fuel Chevrolet? We're about to find out right about now. Matos turns it 4th, thou red, and then has issues. Ty Tutterow straight and true down the left-hand side of the racetrack, 373.4, 203 miles per hour, as Maverick will take it on to round number 2.
So watching, trying to figure out what happened to Matos. That thing was out of power, never went into shake or anything, just had some sort of mechanical failure, and unfortunately he's pulled off on the right-hand side. So we'll send the safety quads to push that machine off the racing surface. PDRA Pro 632 presented by PTC. We need you. Pro 632, we need you for your opening round of eliminations, please. Pro 632, we need you. Big shout out to Pops sitting back in Concord watching on, giving us some insight from what he's seeing on the Flow broadcast.
You know, when you're a legend in the sport like that man is, you can send a message like that and end it with a period.
That's right.
And all you had to say at that point was winners win.
Winners win, baby.
Cameron Hensley and Melanie Salemi, they're going to try to take that mindset into this round number 1 matchup of they want to be one of the winners that wins as well because they want to come back for round number 2.
Cameron Hensley, left-hand side out of Vernon, California for Coast Packing Company, your number 12 qualifier. He won a 383.5 in qualifying. And Melanie Salemi on the right-hand side. The G-Force built Pontiac Firebird for Hoosier Tire, MSR Performance Engines, Quick Drive, Kinetic Engineering, and Resolution Racing Services. John Salemi, Jim, the Brain Trust, Evan as well, behind Melanie's car. And they know how to send one down the racetrack. Melanie, a great pilot behind the wheel. Cam Hensley going to try to do his part and rain on their parade. So Melanie Salemi coming in here. At one time this season was your points leader. Came into this race number 4 in the point standings. Tree fires and they're off. Slight reaction time advantage goes to Melanie top end. Going to be Melanie Salemi at a 370 with a 9, Tyler.
That team, Melanie Salemi from the number 5 qualifying position picks up her best run of yesterday by 100th of a second. 370 with a 9, 200 miles per hour, and the front wheels of Purple Rain were singing to the skies. As they pointed that way, Cameron Hensley made it a race for a little bit, ran into tire shake, and had to abort mission. Melanie Salemi on to round number 2.
Low for the round so far as well with that 370 with the 9. So our next pair completing the burnouts, David Monday on the right-hand side out of Marysville, Tennessee. The 2022 Corvette for Buzza Construction comes in, your number 13 qualified machine, and Johnny Camp. On the left-hand side, the Hells Bells 69 Camaro out of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. NGK, Tatman, Camp Brothers, Proline, and Turnkey Foundations helping Camp get to the racetrack. Brandon Stroud, the crew chief, over on the left-hand side. Got his hands in a few of these Pro Boost machines, so he is gaining knowledge as each and every pair goes down the racetrack, maybe figuring out just a little bit of what he can and cannot do here this afternoon.
Yeah, Brandon's one of the best in the business right now. He has really stepped into a big role and taken the lead on a lot of championship cars. Johnny Camp comes in this weekend, your number 3 man in the point standings. He's seen a couple of people that have continued on. If he wants that shot at $25,000 for winning the Pro Boost World Championship this year, got to turn on a win light right here beside David Monday.
Yeah, Monday, the chassis builder out of Tennessee. Johnny Camp, big round right here. David Monday would like to ruin that for him. Just saw the fastest pass in elimination so far come out of that right lane. It's got to give Monday a little confidence as he starts to pull towards the top bulb. Crew chiefs walk away. Here we go.
Johnny Camp and David Monday. Monday going to try to win on Saturday and maybe sell on Monday, not sure. Johnny Camp is red. David Monday will move on, and Camp lights it up 45 thousandths of a second too soon, throws away a 371.4, and David Monday gets away with one as Johnny Camp will be kicking himself all the way back to Pennsylvania. Hell's bells are gone in round number 1.
Another monster matchup. Wow, I was on the chip there for a minute. Pulls through the water box.
You were mashing up the matchup.
I was.
It's okay, though.
It's a remix. John Dock on the right-hand side out of Benson, North Carolina for Nasty Racing, Southern Diamond Company, and TKM Performance. And arguably the hottest man in pro modified racing right now, Randy Weatherford, backs up the WS Construction 2021 Camaro on the left-hand side. Hart's Charger on board that machine. And as I said, Tyler, pretty hot in the category right now.
Weatherford's been turning on win lights. Handful of races that he's been out here recently. You know, a lot of teams sometimes get a summer slump. That one did not.
No, sir. He went the exact opposite direction.
Yep. But, man, when the ladder printed, for some reason I said this is a matchup you have to watch. John Dock has taken down people all season long
100%.
without the quickest race car on property. He's done it by driving. He's also now getting a really good handle on this car that was new to him only 2 races ago.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because you said his driving abilities. He will cut the tree down on you in a heartbeat. But, man, Randy Weatherford has been doing his job behind the wheel as well. So I think this is one to watch here on the starting line.
He has for sure. And I can tell you John Dock wants this one. Randy Weatherford's been on a roll. Dock's in first, Weatherford second to stage. They are dead even, letting go of the trans brake button. The win light shines for Randy Weatherford. What a side-by-side race, and only 8 thousandths of a second separate them. Both of them let go of the trans brake button 28 thousandths away from when the button lit. 371.4 takes down a 372.2 by 8 thousandths of a second. Randy Weatherford will move on.
Don Tolley next out on the right-hand side at a Bedford Camaro is 2014. Out of Bedford, Virginia, the 2014 Camaro. Man, I'm struggling today. That rain delay. I should have gone take a nap or something. I tell you, don't ever let me out of the tower again. Jason Harris on the left-hand side out of Pittsburgh, North Carolina. Your defending world champion in the party time machine for Southern Diamond Company, SP Tools, Hoosier, Pro Charger, LAT Racing Oil, and Braille Battery.
Scotty, I don't think it was letting you out of the tower. I think it was that walk you took. But anyways.
Well, I did have 2 Celsius, too.
That too.
That might do it.
So Jason Harris, the left-hand side of the racetrack, your defending event winner here on the mountain last season. He's got some pretty good data. Party Time Chevrolet comes in wearing the number 1 sticker on the window. Your defending world champion last season, currently number 2. And Ty Tutterow is already on the way to round number 2.
Yeah, and only one of 2 cars on the property that went into the 60s in qualifying. So, Jason, looking strong here this weekend. Don Tolley wants to go A to B here. And, you know, if any mistake happens on the Harris camp, he's going to be your winner, obviously.
Yep, Tolley's got to be there. Tolley turns it red. Jason Harris straight down the left-hand side of the racetrack with the shot of the opening round. 368.6, 205 miles per hour as Party Time says, hey, boys, don't forget about me. Jason Harris on to round number 2.
Preston Tanner, Bubba Green. Going to be our final pair in category. Bubba Green, right-hand side. Scotty Cannon doing the tuning on that machine. Made some great hits. Testing. Unfortunately, when it came time to qualify, fell a little bit short, but got in as an alternate. Preston Tanner on the other side. Comes out, goes a 367.4 to earn the #1 qualifier spot for Tanner Transport, Talbot Manufacturing, and Manhattan Collision Center. The Sweetheart Corvette looks good here this weekend.
Hey, but man, you got to feel like Bubba Green's got a little bit of like renewed vigor right now. You know, you come in, Tom Blencoe not able to make the call, and Bubba Green will stage it up as an alternate. So you kind of got to feel like, hey, maybe luck's on my side. You know, we've seen stranger things.
Yes, we have. And I mean, you've got Scotty Cannon tuning on your hot rod. I mean, nothing else needs to be said, really. I mean, the man's name's on the grandstands here.
Yep. So one of the legends of Thunder Valley.
So Preston Tanner, fresh off a semifinal finish at US 131. Thanks for the statistician behind me. But all that's forgotten about now as the top lights start to shine on the Christmas tree. Preston Tanner left side, Bubba Green on the right.
Bubba Green had a reaction time advantage, but he had to drive it all over the racetrack. And look at Preston Tanner, 368.8, 203 miles per hour. Your #1 qualifier continues to flex. It's Preston Tanner. We'll move on to round #2. Scotty, tell us what round 2 matchups look like after we bring Pro Street to the lanes. Pro Street, bring them to the lanes. Pro Street, round #1.
So your second round matchups for WS Construction Pro Boost. Preston Tanner with lane choice over Ed Marks. David Monday and Melanie Salemi, with Salemi having lane choice. Jason Harris and Steve King. Two guys that do a podcast together. We'll go head-to-head with Jason Harris having lane choice, and Randy Weatherford and Ty Tutterow with Randy Weatherford having lane choice. So big-time matchups in round #2 with big-time points implications on the line. So a quick broom and groom on the racing surface, and then we'll bring out our AED competition. Extreme Pro Stock presented by Allen Competition Engines.
Boy.
we go, Tyler. The big shoot against three-pedal monsters of the PDRA. Chris Powers and Dave Hughes going to be the first pair out here in Extreme Pro Stock. Hughes on the right-hand side. Out of Nazareth, Pennsylvania for HRE Manifolds. AED Competition, Kazi Racing Engines, and Ram Clutches. This is number 4 and 5 on the qualifying sheet. Hughes won a 4:22. Chris Powers left side out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. His 2021 Camaro for Sonny's World Class Racing Engines. And Powers HVAC. He's your number 4 qualified machine at a 4:18.4. Wheelie bar adjustments going on out there by the crew chiefs. Tree fires and they're off to the top end. Dave Hughes cuts the tree down and he's going to use it on a whole shot win. 4:17.9 was 009 going by the Christmas tree.
Scotty, we talk about it all the time. You've got to race both ends of the racetrack. It's a jaw-dropping round 1 win. Chris Powers goes down 4:17.4. Dave Hughes lays one down 4:17.9 and 009. Letting go of the clutch pedal, the HRE Manifold Chevrolet Camaro will be back for round number 2.
Jordan Insolin, Jeremy Huffman going to be our next pair out. Insolin on the right-hand side, the 09 Mustang out of Lakeland, Florida. CJW Solutions, PJP Construction, Dark Horse Coffee Company. He's your number 6 qualified machine at a 4:23.0. And Jeremy Huffman, left-hand side. From nearby Catawba, North Carolina, the 3V Performance 2010 Cobalt for Lake Lookout Campground, Mike Huffman Enterprises, Hillside Auto, and PRS. Jeremy, number 2 in the point standings, was number 1 qualified our last stop at US 131, trying to get himself a world championship here this season in Extreme Pro Stock.
About it, he would love to take home a world championship. He's number 2 currently, but he's got to get some rounds on Alan Drinkwater. Drinkwater, a past world champion in his own right, knows how to get it done when the pressure's on the line. He sits in the water box watching this pair, but Jeremy Huffman needs a win light. But Jordan Insolin is a hungry young man to go get his first win in Extreme Pro Stock.
Three fires and they're off. Insolin with a better reaction time. Can he carry it through? And he does. 4:21.8.
Jordan Insolin, what a big comeback win for that team. They've been down for the last couple of races, put a new motor between the frame rails, and a big time win for Jordan Insolin right there. And Jeremy Huffman, your number 2 man in points, goes down right in front of your points leader. Alan Drinkwater could open the door right here if he takes down Stephen Boone.
Well, that's not going to be a small task. Stephen Boone, a past world champion in the category. Out of Weaverville, North Carolina for Boone Motorsports, his 07 Cobalt. Allen Competition Engines, Hoosier Tire, Mincer Motorsports, line-to-line coatings, and Ram clutches on board his hot rod. But Drinkwater has been on a tear here recently. Left-hand side, the white Mustang they call the White Whale out of Maitland, Florida. Persimmon Paving, AED Competition, Ram Clutches, and Kazi Race Engines. Big time matchup as Drinkwater just watched. Number 2 in points fall in the opening round. Stephen Boone. Hasn't made every race this season, but is definitely a threat when he shows up on the property. So keep your eyes on the starting line on this one.
Big matchup right here. Stephen Boone, Alan Drinkwater. If Stephen Boone turns on the win light, Jeremy Huffman will be his #1 fan here in Bristol, Tennessee for the rest of the weekend. But Alan Drinkwater carries the points lead, and he is in trouble. Stephen Boone, a huge reaction time advantage, but gets drove around. Alan Drinkwater with his best run of the weekend and needed every ounce of it. 4:15.3 takes down Stephen Boone's 4:23. Alan Drinkwater almost let that one slide by.
So Elijah Morton, he'll be next out on the racing surface, your #1 qualifier. I think Tyler just hurt himself up in here in the fishbowl. But Morton left side out of Swansboro, North Carolina, the Double Trouble 2019 Mustang for Allen Competition Engines, Larry Jeffers Race Cars, South State Development, Horizons East, and Carolina Utilities. Alan Drinkwater just came out and laid down low ET for the event. Elijah Morton on a single run. He'll need to go quicker than a 4:17.9 to gain lane choice in round number 2.
All over the left-hand side of the racetrack, takes it down to a 4:23 at 165 miles per hour and had his hands full. Well, one hand on the steering wheel, one hand shifting gears. But Dave Hughes will have lane choice over Elijah Morton when they come back for the semifinals, where Alan Drinkwater and Jordan Enslin will show down on the other side of the ladder, with Alan Drinkwater having lane choice with that rocket ship 4:15 that is low elapsed time of the weekend thus far.
Now we're going to make the jump over to PDRA Pro 632, presented by PTC. Kyle Salmon and Carson Hoyle going to be our first pair of race cars on the surface. Hoyle on the left-hand side out of Hickory, North Carolina, the 69 Camaro for ATI Performance Products. And Salmon making the haul from Marine City, Michigan for Matt's Electric. His 03 Cavalier with the Pat Musey horsepower underneath the hood scoop. I believe both these machines have Pat Musey horsepower. Pro Street and Super Street, we need you. If you're not already in the lanes, Pro Street and Super Street, we need you to the lanes, please. All eyes on the starting line. Carson Hoyle, Kyle Salmonen. And Salmonen makes a big move. Carson Hoyle does not. He goes A to B and rapidly at a 426, 166 miles an hour. Move Carson Hoyle on to round 2. Next pair fires up. Starts heading through the water box. J.C. Beatty Jr. and Jason Ventura. Ventura on the right-hand side out of Pompano Beach, Florida. The Gladiator X 1970 Camaro for Procom ELS. And J.C. Beatty Jr. made the haul from Baltimore, Maryland. It's 2018 Camaro for ATI Performance Products. J.C. Beatty Jr. in that ATI machine. Having one of his better weekends here at the racetrack. That car's looked strong throughout the weekend. Jason Ventura, a known heavy hitter in the category on the right-hand side. So good matchup right here in the opening round of PDRA Pro 632 presented by PTC.
J.C. Beatty and Jason Ventura. Ventura with a slight reaction time advantage, but he is driving it all over the center line and not enough. J.C. Beatty Jr. 424.7, his best run of the weekend thus far, will turn on a win light. On the left-hand side of the racetrack, Ventura was dangerously close to the center line. Was able to hang on to it. J.C. Beatty will move on.
Brian Claus next out on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Pasadena, Maryland. The Calvin Starcher 06 Cavalier for injector maintenance. And Lexi Tanner out of Rensselaer, Indiana for Talbot Manufacturing, Manhattan Collision. Lexi's been in 3 final rounds this season, but has yet to turn on the final win light. A past winner in the category, so we know she can do it. But man, she wants a 660 man bad.
I'm sure she really wanted you to air that out there.
I'm a stat guy, man. It's part of the stats thing.
You are the stat guy, okay. The big news is Lexi Tanner's number 2 in the points.
Yes.
That is a big-time move because Lexi wants to chase a world championship this season. Thus far, she's put herself in contention to do so. But to continue, she's got to turn on win lights.
But you know what, Tyler? I'll take runner-up in every race and win that championship. Forget about the 660, man, I guess. Boy. So Lexi Tanner, Brian Claus.
Lexi Tanner will get a free pass onto round number 2, 425, 167 miles per hour. Claus may have slipped off the button, let go on air, not sure. Uncharacteristically big red light for Brian Claus will end his weekend here in Bristol.
Next out, Ed McLemore and Jeff Pittman. Pittman already done with his burnout. Sounds like maybe Ed McLemore having some issues in the Demon Steed Mustang here on the right side. Gets it refired. Now it gets the burnout going. Hickory enclosed trailers, Greenbrier Excavating and Paving. So myself and Tyler and the rest of the guys on PDRA Live talked about it on our show Wednesday. The mark that Jeff Pittman has already made in the 632 category as a rookie, doing a fantastic job driving behind the wheel. That 68 Chevelle. And some big time numbers on the scoreboard from that machine. So we'll see if he can get around Ed McLemore here in the opening round of eliminations. Or will McLemore play the part of the spoiler?
If Pittman would have struggled just a little bit, Ed McLemore would have been right there to turn on the win light, but Jeff Pittman gets it done. 426.2, 167 miles per hour. McLemore's 438, just not enough to take down your number 3 qualifier.
Gary Hood next out on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Severn, Maryland. The Inspector 1963 Corvette for SLM. And Jeff Melnick on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Hubbard, Ohio. The Greenbrier Excavating. Mickey Thompson PTP Ford-powered Chevrolet Camaro. Melnick, your points leader in the category. Number 2 qualifier here at this event this weekend. Big round right here for Jeff Melnick. Tanner already turning on a win light. That's who's chasing Melnick in the point standings. Issues for Gary Hood. Jeff Melnick turns on the win light at a 4:24.5. Strong run for Melnick. So number 1 qualifier here in PDRA Pro 632 presented by PTC on a single run here in the opening round. That's Nicole Liberty out of Marine City, Michigan. The 99 Firebird for NGK Spark Plugs and Liberty's Gears. And man, there's some big time matchups going to go down in round 2. Right now, Liberty needs to run quicker than a 4:26.2 to get lane choice over Carson Hoyle in round number 2. So Tyler, pretty cool to see Nicole Liberty picking up a #1 qualifier. You know, big time involvement in the sport, period, for that whole family. But now they're finally reaping a little bit of the success.
Yeah, for sure. They ran really good at US 131 at Martin, Michigan last time out, and not a huge surprise to me to see Nicole come up here and run well. That team works really strong. They know how to make ratios work. I mean, their company is Liberty Skiers, so they should have a little bit of a leg up on everybody else on ratios and how they work at different altitudes. So Nicole Liberty, a solo shot into round number 2. How about low elapsed time of the weekend? 4:23.9 for Nicole Liberty at 166 miles per hour. The design engineer from Marine City, Michigan, moves on to round number 2. Nicole Liberty and Carson Hoyle will show down against each other. Jeff Pittman and Lexi Tanner, with Lexi Tanner getting lane choice by 0.03 of a second, and Jeff Melnick and J.C. Beatty will show down as well. Melnick with lane choice by only 0.02 of a second. We move into the next round of Pro 632. So at this time, Pro Street, Super Street. If you're not in the lanes, you're late. Elite Top Sportsman. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you to the lanes now. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you to the lanes. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you to the lanes for round number 1 pairings. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you now.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
This is what you save your lunch money for. Welcome to the High Limit Room.
Red Line Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see